Evening, everyone. Hello, Steph.
Hi, Jackie.
Hello. So this is a bit of an impromptu sort of thing that we're going to do, just having a talk about, because I heard that I saw your post that you went to see Dr. Joe Dispenza in Switzerland last week.
Mhm. Last week, yeah.
Last week,
Yes.
yeah, for a 3-day retreat. And so yeah, I'll just tell you a little bit about Steph. Let me go to that page. So Steph, mainly your main thing is that you do homeopathy. Do you want
Yes.
to say, yeah, homeopathy
Yes.
and bioresonance.
Yes, absolutely.
So yeah, and when I saw your card earlier, I mean, rebalance, detox, prevent, coaching sessions, mindset growth, reach your goals. So that all ties in with really what your why you went to see Dr. Joe, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've been following his work, and obviously resonance and energy is what I love.
Everything,
So,
everything that he's about, isn't it?
yeah.
I mean, the energy that he brings to anything. So if anyone doesn't know Dr. Joe Dispenza, um, well, I'd be amazed actually if you don't know or if you've not heard of him. He's right up there with like Greg Braden and Bruce Lipton. So yeah, I'm going to just get this up. Dr. Joe Dispenza. I haven't got anything written here particularly about him, but he does these workshops. Well, I'll also start with the story about the fact that he did come to Southampton for me back in, and that was news to you. I've only just told Steph about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, in 2017, I had the most amazing opportunity that he came to Southampton. And we had an event with him mainly through Pam Gregory. I mean, she used to go all over the world. So she was right on it right back then to know to go all over the world to see Joe Dispenza. And she would talk about him. And then I saw he was coming to Birmingham and London. And I said, do you think he'll come down to us while he's here, Pam? And to Southampton. And she said, no, I don't really, Jackie, but here's an email and just have a go, ask the question. And she said, but it could take 3 months because when he wrote in her book, he did a blurb or a testimonial about her in her book. And so she said, that did take about 3 months. So, and I thought, oh, well, I'll just ask and let it go to the universe. And the next morning I had 3 possible dates. So it was like, wow. And that was in the February, and then he came in the June. And it was just an incredible. So when I saw that you'd been there, I've done a 2-day retreat with him in London after that, because they invited me, which was really lovely of them. And that was a lot of people, but nothing like the amount that you had.
Yeah, that was incredible. Incredible. 8,100 people from 68 different countries. People had traveled from all over the world.
Literally. I mean, did you do exercises there with him, or was it literally just sat listening, or?
Well, there was, yeah, we did a lot of listening, and we did a couple of meditation on the first day and the second day. Well, the first day we just arrived in the evening, so we arrived about 5. And then, yeah, he told us a bit about what he does. The second day we had a couple of meditation, and then this third day, there was 4 meditation between each break. We had, I have no idea how long they were. They could have been 10 minutes, they could have been an hour. I have no idea.
Literally, I wouldn't class myself as being good at meditation, but the one I went to in London was very long, and yet I managed it
Mm.
easily. I don't
Mm.
know, it must be like you say, the energy that he brings to an event.
And I think is that time space thing. You completely lose, he says go out of your body, and you are out of your body, and time is no longer a thing.
Incredible. I mean, just the fact of going to Switzerland as well. I don't know, have you been to Switzerland before?
Well, I grew up in Switzerland, funnily enough.
Oh, really?
I did. So I grew up in the other part, the French part of Switzerland. So it was quite weird that it was there. So I went back to my roots. So I got to, eat loads of
Oh,
cheese and chocolate,
oh, that was
which is
so
also my
right.
favorite thing.
That was so right then for you to go
Yeah,
there. That was what the pull was as much as anything, I should think.
yeah.
So yeah, what would you like to tell us about that
So,
then? What
I mean, let me try and explain some of the amazing stuff. He was talking a lot about repetition. So, he was doing his talks and then he'd go, tell the person next to you. So we'd have to practice telling the person next to us, some crazy, science, you could hear like the whole room going, oh, how are we gonna explain this now? So hopefully it's all stayed with me. I mean, I've been following him for probably 8 or 9 years. So I've read all his books, I've done his work, I've done his meditation on and off for years and years and years. But yeah, so he really talks about um, our conscious mind is only like 5%. By the time we are 35 years old, 95% is just a program that's running over and over again. And then he explains how, so we start our day exactly in the same way. We'll get out of the bed in the same side of the bed, and then we'll go into the bathroom, and then we'll make some coffee. We'll drink the coffee in exactly the same way, go in the shower, brush our teeth in exactly the same order, get dressed, go to work in this, on the same roads, same things, in the same colleagues, have the same discussion, come home, watch the television, and then go to bed, and then we start again.
yes.
And then, he said, if we keep doing the same thing and having the same thoughts, we are going to get the same results because we are working on the same patterns. So what does he call it? The familiar past becomes the predictable future. And, I love that, just having to notice, what we're doing, because if we're going through the same thoughts, the same thing's going to happen again. So, and making little changes is quite hard. I mean, I don't know if you've tried brushing your teeth in a different order than you normally do it. It takes
I
quite
don't
a
know if
lot
it
of
was
brain power
him.
suddenly.
I have seen a video saying that. So you do try it, don't you? But then you forget again and go back to how you've always done it.
Exactly, and then he was explaining how we all become addicted to our thoughts. So we think in that way. So we look for people that think in the same way, and we have the same conversation, and then we reinforce those beliefs that this is the right beliefs, and and we carry it on from yesterday back into tomorrow. So yes, he was explaining, how to change the program, and to change our program, we have to go in a different brainwave. So shall I explain a little bit about the different
You don't
brainwave,
mind?
maybe?
Yeah, that'd be really good of you. Thank you.
So most of the time we're in a beta brainwave. So right now we're quite relaxed. So we're probably in lower beta. If I was to say, okay, there's a test in a minute, you need to listen. Like we'll go in slightly mid beta brainwave where we really have to listen and really be aware. And then there's the high beta where we're quite stressed, we're doing things, there's fight or flight, is sometimes we can get stuck in that high beta quite a lot. And then we've got to go to alpha. When we go into meditation, you start going into alpha brainwave, which is you're more aware of your inner world than your outer world. And then there's theta brainwave, which is where you can reprogram the mind. So this is where he takes us in his meditation, where you're there in that hypnotic source. There, this is what they use for hypnosis as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
So when you get to that level, then you can reprogram the mind. What does he say? The body to a new mind.
Oh my goodness. Do you know, because we talk about consciousness a lot, but actually that is showing us, just by you saying that, just how much we're unconscious.
Yeah.
We're talking about this new consciousness that we're moving into, this higher divine realm and everything. And it's lovely to have that in mind and know all about that. But when you think about those mundane everything that we do every day, it is still that. How do we, yes, so do you feel that you will be able to change and do a different program or start to?
Well, I practice this quite a lot with my patients, so I'm quite aware of my patterns in a lot of way because I'll go with my patients, yeah, right, this are your thoughts and observe your thoughts and change your thought one thought at a time. Is really just about changing one thought. Oh, okay, I'm always doing that. Okay, so my pattern could be I'm trying to fix or something like that. Okay, so I'm trying to fix, and then it's changing. Oh, I'm catching myself trying to fix it, trying to control, trying to be in a certain way. And then you're like, okay, I don't have to fix this. I can, like you say, surrender to the universe and just go, okay, it's not for me. There's a higher power that can do that. But we're so used to using our brain going and doing exactly what we were told to do. As a child, you get told there's a problem, you solve it.
Yes. Yes.
And sometimes it's just about surrendering and just letting back. But you've got to catch yourself. We've got to catch ourselves, you know. One that came up for me quite a lot at the weekend is chasing time. I'm busy, I've got loads to think, and I always think, oh, I'm not gonna have time for this. And I'm chasing my time. And I'm like, so this week has really been about, no, I've got time. I don't need to leave 10 minutes early. I was brought up in Switzerland. Time is very important in Switzerland. Nothing happens late.
Oh, really?
Oh, it's very, we took the train there. We were the 3 hours from Geneva to Basel, and literally you could have set your clock to when the train pulled into the station and out of the station. Everything happens so on time. So that's something I grew up with.
Oh, I guess to a point we all did, but actually, you've just brought back a memory. I went to the Bahamas in the late 80s, quite an age away. But I went to Canada. My cousin knew someone, and we went for a week in the middle to the Bahamas. And that was so laid back. It was so different. I haven't thought of that for years, but it was just so like we did a taxi drive from I don't know where to Nepal. And literally, it just took forever. He stopped and talked to everybody. So different to what we were used to. Oh, I hadn't thought of that for years, Steph.
Yeah.
Oh
So,
my goodness. So Switzerland's really switched on.
oh, yeah, I mean, they love their Rolex. Everything is a Rolex everywhere.
Oh my goodness. So how are they going to change their mindset? Because they must be on a very programmed.
Oh, well, first of all, they have to know they are on a program.
Yes.
That's the first one, isn't it? Is realize, oh, I'm doing this every time I'm doing this.
Yeah.
And this is causing stress to my body, and I don't actually need to do this. So it's just about realizing, and obviously that's the power of meditation, because obviously when we're meditating, we're like observing the thought, wandering, and then bringing it back. And once we can do that in meditation and we can bring this in our day-to-day life, um, it can help us, yeah, just make those changes and noticing, like in kindness and amusement with ourselves. Oh, this is the thing I do every time, and just noticing. So, in the meditation, he says, become nothing, no one, nowhere, in no time. So we really have to take ourselves away from all those things that we're so, I am somebody, I am somewhere, I am in this time. Everything is around those three things that can be.
Oh, I'm loving this reminder actually, because this is just what he's about, isn't it?
Yeah.
Literally. Oh, that's so exciting because, I'm a leader of the Conscious Cafe as well. And it's just making me think, what am I bringing to Conscious Cafe? I'm calling it conscious, but how conscious am I? Even me, like yeah, that's very interesting.
It's so hard because I mean we need 95% of our body to do everything on automatic. If we had to think, we have, it says, about 90,000 thoughts a day. Imagine if we had to be conscious of all of those, we'd be exhausted at the end of the day. How to put a foot in front of the other, how to, we have we have a lot of it is great that is happening on automatic, but it's noticing those things and go, well, do you know what? I like that I do this like that, but I don't like that I do this, and then I can change it. And
Yeah.
he says, I don't know if you remember in his meditation, he says, say change out loud. Like, think how you don't no longer, the person you no longer want to be,
Yes.
and he says change, and then so I'm used to doing this work, so sometimes I'm just walking around, I'm like, change, like literally speaking it out loud to myself. So
Yes.
might look a bit crazy in the street, but we're all right with that.
That's good. That's so good. Thank you for that reminder. But also where he
Oh,
said
I've
to you
lost
to
you,
turn to
Jackie.
the person
You
next
lost
to
me
you and
too.
repeat what I've said, because then you know you've got to be listening to him.
Pardon, sorry, I lost you there for a second.
Yes. Sorry. I was saying, oh, my internet connection's unstable. Hopefully I'm not freezing. Anyway, um, yeah, I said where he was saying, turn and tell the person what I've just said, because it reinforces and you've got to listen.
You've got, and I say you're in that mid beta, then you're really listening, and you've got to repeat it and in your own words, which is really, some stuff he was telling us was like, oh my goodness, where do I even start? Because we had brain scans and things that was going on, and where the light that goes on, and the repetition. He was just saying, so when you go to work and you moan about your mother-in-law, that opens a wire, that lights up a part of your brain, and then you moaning about your dog, and then you moaning about your husband, and then there's all this, and then it becomes a habit, and then it becomes your personality. You become that person because you're so used to having the same mental argument. We become that person. And then it's changing the synapses in the brain, changing the neural pathway. He says when neurons are fired together, wired together.
Oh, absolutely.
So the more we repeat and catch ourselves, then those synapses in the brain eventually will pull out, a new neural pathway will get made, and then it becomes our normal to think positively, and to be kind, and to not judge, and to send love, and that becomes our normal.
Yeah.
um but if we not notice that chatter that goes on, and if we get angry in traffic, he says you can meditate for an hour at home. If you jump in the car the next minute and start having a go at everybody in the car, you've not done the work. You didn't get up a different person. You've got to keep doing the work. Um, yeah, so it's
Yes.
the changes he's seen as well. He talks about the research that he does, because now he's really linked up with loads of scientists. Only like I think 2019. And there's this great movie actually. If I've got a good link for it, and all the money from buying the movie is called Source, goes to the research. So this is helping him really write papers so we can see what vibration does. We can see what um, healing, distance healing does. And
Really?
there's stuff that he's really bringing out to the world. Um, it's very, because when you go to a 7-day retreat, he literally wires people up, and he's got all, and he measures them at the beginning
Yeah.
and at the end. And there's people that have like no anxiety. There's no neural pathway for anxiety after 7 days. There's people that have got up from wheelchairs after 7 days. There's people that have healed their cancers or bloods, or that it's absolutely mind blowing.
You can go on to YouTube for Dr. Joe Dispenza and you'll see many of those type of things. And that is the thing, he does it scientifically. So there is proof. It's not just saying, oh, distance healing, it works. He proves that it works.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
we need this proof, because
Yeah.
we need people who think this is all woo woo to know that it isn't. It's really happening, and there's other people that do it as well. But more and more now, having that data and having that heart coherence, showing how love heals, how all those things are just real science. This is really happening, and it's not.
Not
Um,
woo woo. And like you say, love heals. Love is the only thing, basically. We keep hearing that, but it just seems like a word, but it absolutely is not. Love of self. Did he talk about loving yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's, what that, so there's the healer, the healers, and then the healee. And very often that's what the healee I don't want to say job is, but sort of aim is. It's finding love when sometimes the body doesn't work anymore. People lose the love for their body when actually it's love that heals the body. Uh,
Absolutely. Perfect. Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really, really incredible the work he's doing and the people he's been able, because he's so big now, he's able to team up with people that bring it out to the mainstream as well.
So was it him the 3 whole days? Like just him, or did he have other speakers come
No,
on?
just him. Like
Just him.
from 7:30 to 7:30 all day long on stage, not one word out of play, not one skip on anything. It was incredible. And holding the space for 8,000 people.
Exactly. Just phenomenal.
Yeah,
His story, for anyone that doesn't know, again, you'll probably got it fresher in your mind, but that was where he was doing a triathlon back when he was very young. Was he in his early 20s?
I would say so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
early 20s. He was doing a triathlon, and the policeman waved the lorry on, or waved him on, but a
Okay.
lorry was coming round.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got hit. 8 vertebrae were crushed. Um, so many injuries. And because he was training at that time as a chiropractor,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes, I think that's what it was originally. Yeah.
yeah. So he's training as a chiropractor, and so he knew that the body is perfect and it can heal itself. Like
Mhm.
he had that real strong knowing. So when they said at the hospital he would never walk again, they wanted to put a rod down his back and all sorts of things. He thought, no, if the divine made me in the first place, the divine will heal me.
Yeah.
And then he meditated. He went to a friend's, he left hospital, went to a friend's, he started trying to meditate. He got to the point where he could meditate for 2 hours straight a day. It took a time, but and then he could meditate for even longer on what the perfect spine looked like. It just phenomenal. And
Yeah.
then I think after 10 weeks, he went back, he was walking, and after
Mhm.
12 weeks, he was back doing his job again.
Unbelievable, isn't it? Yeah.
Seriously. So he knew, and he sort of made I'm goose chill truth bumps.
Mm.
Um, but he made a contract with the divine then that if you heal me, I will tell the world. Oh,
Mm.
complete truth bumps.
Yeah, I know, me too.
Yeah, yeah. If you if I'm healed in, and don't need the operation, whatever, I'll tell the world how I've done it. And
Mm.
that's what his mission has been ever since.
Yeah, and he really, really has. And I find very interesting as well that he doesn't repeat that story. It is in his book,
Yes.
but he doesn't repeat this story because he knows how the brain works. And if he was to repeat that story all the time, that would wire him as a victim of that accident and it would become him. So he purposefully doesn't talk about how we got to becoming Joe Dispenza and how he discovered the power of meditation. But that's also very interesting as he's not sitting, using that because he knows what it does to his mind. That repetition would be.
Well, Steph, that's such an interesting point. Because, like, if I ever talk about, when I broke my leg back in 97, how many times have I told that when because I just feel that's part of my story, but I'm just
We all
wired
do,
to say,
yeah.
because it changed my life. That's how I started watching Oprah Winfrey every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, that's interesting. I need to think about that actually.
Yeah, I thought that was very, very interesting that that doesn't come because he's doesn't want it to be. Well, it is his story, but it doesn't. Yeah,
It is his story, and it is very positive, though. It's not like he's replaying it or anything. He literally
no.
is going on from that. That's why the world is so much better for knowing him.
Yes, absolutely. But he says that the body doesn't know the difference between a thought or reality. So if you're thinking about it, you're still passing this message. What does he say? He says,
Yes.
a memory without the emotional charge is wisdom.
Oh, yeah.
So that really resonated with me as well.
Yes. Oh gosh, this is so really thinking about our thought patterns and what we do every day
Mm.
so automatically,
So
even
automatic.
now. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I must say, I went to Joe Hayes's house the other day, flat, and he said, I want you to sit and watch this for 15 minutes, Jackie. So I probably wouldn't have sat down and watched this had he not said it. But this was a chap, I've forgotten his name, but I'll put the post under here anyway. And he said about rubbing this bit here,
Mm.
starts unblocking, I don't know, and then you tap, you circle, um, the tapping, EFT, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah,
But it really wakes this part up, and then you go behind there. So there's 6 points to do on the body, and I've been doing it every day.
have
I've
you?
his name though. But it's so good. Yeah, yeah, because it's a different thing that I'm putting into my mind as well. But he tells you what each part unblocks, and
Okay.
you know how your body and blood and all that's flowing much better if
Yeah,
you do these 6 things. And it literally, it doesn't even take the 15 minutes, because you have to listen to the build up first for 5 minutes. So
yeah.
it's only about a 10-minute thing.
Brilliant.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's a really good thing to do.
Yeah.
So I will post that under here. I was
Yeah,
very
that'd be really
grateful.
great. I mean, I think any new things that we can bring in, any
Yeah.
new thing just so we snap ourselves out of this daily routine, which is, safe but
Yes.
boring. Even driving the same roads to places, think of a different way because it's good for the mind to see things from a different perspective, when we can change our perspective.
Absolutely. I'll tell you another thing is, I think it's on my page. I'll just go to my page and share this, because this is sort of a different thought. Um, Judith Cushell, I follow, and she posted this. Oh bother, is it on inspirations page? I'll just go to it doesn't take long. I'm just going to read this out because I think
Yes.
for having new thoughts.
Yes.
So this is Judith Cashel. She posted this yesterday, and I thought it was just so wonderful. We are in a greater shift now, the shift into our own true soul selves, freedom to live our true magnificence, our true soul birthright, living our soul purpose and calling with love and joy. Yes, it's truly a blessing to be in this powerful shift, rediscovering our innate wisdom, freedom to be our true selves. Every time we consciously choose the highest loving pathways, we are being lifted ever higher into the 7th dimension. So that's something I'd not heard before. As the 5th dimension was just a transition point.
Okay.
The dimension shifts will purify, clarify, and exalt you, and all those specks, stains, baggage, which you still hold on to in some way, consciously or subconsciously, will show up. Make work of them, acknowledge them without judgment, and then forgive yourself and others so that you are free, totally free from the 3rd dimension, and all which you have ever gone before. Let go of the past. You are not the same as you were even 3 months ago. So I love that as well. You're not the
Yeah.
same as you were even 3 months ago.
Yeah.
So do not expect anyone or anything to still be the same. Everything and everyone is changing form, even if it does not seem so to the naked eye. There are many levels of existence on this beautiful earth, and the new, which you can only tune into via a heart opening and clairvoyance, yet also intuitively know. The shift is opening to all higher faculties as it is meant to happen. What is seemingly real is not. Ask yourself that you only see, feel, and hear from the heart and soul, the truth of who and what you are, and all judgments of self and others will fall away. You now see with the eyes of the soul, merged with your monad, where only love prevails, for you are true, in truth, divine light, divine love, divine power, divine wisdom, and all that is, you are soul.
So beautiful.
Isn't it? So like even to 3 months ago, we just don't see it. It's like when you got the puppy, you
Yeah,
don't see it becoming the dog because you're seeing it every day.
yeah,
But we are changing because this is the time. Pam Gregory, Diana Cooper, all those are saying, you
mm,
know, the golden era, we're going towards, and keep our eye on the goal of that as
yes.
well.
Yeah. And then any little upgrade, any little incremental upgrade we can do to ourselves every day by just noticing, oh, I judged. What did I judge? But you catch yourself, because those things are habitual again, you know. Oh,
Yes.
I reacted. What am I reacting? This person is whatever, doing whatever they're doing. It's just those catching in what was the word that was just used that, yeah, just non-judgmental, When we study homeopathy, we learn to be the unprejudiced observer. That's, so I always come into my room and I go, right, I put my unprejudiced observer's hat and I'm just looking at my patients in whatever their behavior or their response to anything is, it's a symptom. It's just what they're doing. And then it's helping them becoming this new person, removing that energy that's attached to that feeling, to help them move to a higher state of consciousness.
Amazing. And was it your
Mm.
husband that went with you?
Yes, yes.
Did he enjoy that as much as you? Or like, is
Yeah,
he
he
on that
loves it as
page?
well.
That's amazing to have two, be on the
Yeah.
same page.
Oh yeah, we're very lucky. Every morning we're like, oh, what meditation did you do? How was it? Oh, this one was really good. The music was really good.
No,
Yeah.
that's so good.
Yeah, it's really good. So yeah, it's brilliant to be able to do this together.
Yeah, because you can play off of each other on that.
Yeah, and when you get ups and downs, because as we know with our meditation, you go off the wagon, you do it well for a while, and then you might not, and then it's the other one. So, it's helping each other, just keeping with it and going, I know you don't feel like it today, but sit anyway, because
And do you do guided meditation or you just sit and meditate?
I've just done all sorts over the years, but I was really doing like 15, 20 minutes, maybe half an hour in the morning, which it's been my routine for years and years and years. But doing this much longer, Joe's 50 an hour, um, just the level of peace that you get when you are, when you've been in there for long enough, that all the chatter and the list and the shopping list and the dad broken the kid, all this mind that keeps wandering off. After a bit, it stops, and some days stops quicker than others, and some day it doesn't stop, you know. But it's just giving ourselves that time, and I'm doing it with headphones as well since I'm doing Joe again, because he's got great music as well, which really makes you
Yes.
forget that, you're in your lounge.
Because he would have looked into that as well. He would have the right hertz or,
Yes,
yeah,
everything is perfect. He's got all the right vibration, and he does blessing of the energy centers where you're working through all the chakras. You do the breath work. Have you done his breath work before where
yeah.
so you're pulling literally the lower chakras into the pineal gland, and then he worked through the chakras. And every time you change chakra, it changes music, and you can really feel it. So you know that it's really done at exactly the right hertz for each energy
Oh
center.
gosh, it's so long since I've done that. I really need to revisit that because that's so good for us, isn't it?
Yeah, it's so good. Oh, I start my day floating now. I get into the kitchen, I was like, sandwiches, anyone?
So good.
It's so good.
Honestly. It done you, well, just done you the most amazing world of good. I mean, even if don't think you could, because I don't know if he's coming to this country at all. But have a look, Dr. Joe Dispenza, and see where because he's doing workshops all the time, but it is like all over the world. He won't be here
Mm.
very often, I guess.
No,
But he
I
does
think no,
come.
there was nothing. I think he can't find venues big enough. That's why he was saying that's his problem now.
Yes.
So he's doing Basel, he's doing another one of the 3 days progressive next year, similar time, I think. And he's going to Copenhagen in, I'm not sure, September, I think. Or it could be September next year, I think, to do a 7 day retreat.
Good Lord. Because it is quite hard. I mean, a friend of mine and probably a friend of yours went on one, and she really, to the very limit, she was having to get up at 4 in the morning, I think. Um, did you have to?
No, 7:30, he was kind to us.
Oh, yeah.
7:30, but
Yeah, I think they had to start at 4 in the morning, and it was brutal actually. I think the exercise and that he put them through.
yeah.
Yeah, or it seemed brutal. I mean, I expect looking back, she's really seen the benefit of it, but at the time I know it was really quite
Yeah,
hard for her.
he's breaking us. I think he breaks us so we can become somebody new. I think that's the whole point. He's got
Yes.
a book, hasn't he? Breaking the habit of being yourself.
Oh, exactly. Yes.
So
Yes.
it's breaking that old pattern. So, he says you're going to feel the resistance. I'm going to do this meditation, and going to want to get up, and you're going to get annoyed with my voice, and all those things. But you've got to get past the mind and keep sitting. And it's normal that it feels wrong because the ego is trying to keep you exactly where you were when your soul is actually knowing what is needed and what you need. So when we can connect to soul rather than ego by not being in our body anymore, that's
That
when the
is the
magic
thing,
happens.
realizing, yeah, that we are soul so
We are.
much.
Yeah.
Did he talk about ancestors at all? Like, we we've been so programmed by the ancestors, not through their fault because they were programmed through their ancestors.
Yeah.
Well, all ancestors, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Parents, grandparents, da da da.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but we're the ones that are breaking that now because we are finding so much more that consciousness is becoming a conversation.
Exactly. And we can't be ignorant. There's no reason to be ignorant because the information is all out there now. So, we have possibilities that our parents and grandparents and great grandparents didn't have. So, yeah, he talked a little bit about epigenetic, but I'm not even gonna try to go there.
Steph, thank you so much for explaining, or like, talking about this. It's brought so many memories back, but it was so long, it was 2017 that I saw him. Um, I think it was the same year that I went to London as well. But anyway, there is loads on YouTube about him if anyone wants to look up. And what he shares is just phenomenal. And he's got, well, I don't know how many books, but I've got the placebo book because just shows how our minds, if we think we've taken something, well, anyone knows what a placebo is anyway, but how the placebo works within our
Mm.
minds.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the body has its own medicine, its own
Yeah.
bank of medicine, and we need to just to let it do. We need to just remove ourselves out of the way to let it do the healing because the body knows this is, what I do with the bioresonance is listening to the body's. We know our inner intelligence knows.
Oh, do you want to say a bit about the bioresonance then and what you do with that?
Yeah, I can do. Yeah, so I have a bioresonance system and you just hold two metal masses and it reads the bioenergetic field of the body and finds the imbalances. So there's no diagnosis or anything like that, but it just tells me where the imbalances are and then I can sort of link the dots together and find what's going on. So it could be mental and emotional, it could be toxicity, environmental toxicity, it could be food, it could be the thoughts we're having. It will always come up with the feeling creating issues. So that might be, it might come up with like suppressed anger, and then you're like, oh, what's the suppressed anger? And people know, very often they know because their soul knows, even if they didn't want to speak it with the conscious mind. But this is again bringing from the subconscious into the conscious so then we can uh, visit it and again without judgment forgive it, notice it, move on with it, give it love, and then I can make a personalized tonic with whatever's come up for them, what's needed, whether it's homeopathics or whatever is needed for them to help their body bring itself back into balance, because it's their body that does the work. Because it's totally able to, but sometimes we just get a little bit stuck because of the world we live in.
We've got a Mind Body Spirit Fair in Hamworthy Club in Poole, 7th of September. I don't know if you want to have a look at that and see if you wanted a table there, Steph.
Oh, that sounds great. Yeah, I'll have a look. 7th of September, yeah?
Yeah,
What did you say?
Hamworthy Club in Poole. But
Oh, brilliant.
It's
Yeah, yeah,
nearer
excellent.
Wimborne.
Yeah, brilliant. Oh, I'll have a look.
Have a look, because to have that there to talk to people about would be really good.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, that sounds brilliant.
Oh my goodness. And you can do a talk if you want. We still got a space for a speaker. But anyway, we'll see about
Okay.
that. Oh, well, thank you so much for sharing this, Steph. It sounds absolutely amazing. And I'm so glad that you and your husband really enjoyed it and got so much from it.
Oh, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to talk about it today. And I hope that that will bring a few more people looking into his work and help this consciousness.
Help our consciousness to expand. Yeah. Because
Yes.
anything that can do that is just brilliant,
Yes.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Away from the everyday mundane that we're thinking about, when does the MOT need run out? When does, literally we think of these things, and when it comes, I have to think, oh, I'll go and check that now or else I'll forget. And
We all live on this, but we still, live on the 3D level,
yeah,
we
exactly.
still live there, but it's nice to be able to escape and not be in our body for an hour a day because we're meditating. So it's actually quite a gift to ourselves if we give ourselves the time. Again, it's giving ourselves the time, isn't it? And
Well,
the
I
love.
know there was that saying, I think it was a monk or something, said, I haven't really got time for a 10-minute meditation today, so I better do an hour.
Yeah, yeah. Joe had it on the screen actually. Joe Dispenza put that on the screen in
Really?
Basel. He did, yeah.
Oh, lovely. Thank you so much,
Oh,
Steph.
thank you so much, Jackie. It's been such a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, anyone watching. And yeah, I'll see you soon, no doubt.